Most parents in the South Bronx couldn't afford to get their kids instruments, but what those kids did have were records. Or more correctly, their parents had records, introducing them to funk, disco, soul, jazz, and the blues. And having the history of American music at their fingertips allowed them to transform the past. The opening piano line from a ballad on Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life was repurposed for Old Dirty Bastard.
Yeah, baby, I like it raw.
The Queen of Soul's take on Pending Heartbreak, a few generations later, becomes a Mos Def track. And the Godfather of Soul, he shows up again and again and again. So we grew up on these albums, and then, as part of the hip-hop generation, we grew up on the sampling of these albums.
Yes.
Hearing a track where it was immediately familiar, but not the same.
Right. Or you couldn't put your finger on why it was so familiar.
Why this, right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Because sometimes you didn't even know it was an old song, or you couldn't name what the original song was.
That's the genius
but you would hear it and you would
the
be
sampling.
like, this feels familiar to me.
Yes.
Samples, man. A song can be mid, maybe even good, but with the right sample, with the right voice and timing, it can quickly go from aight to legendary. Metro sampling easy does it.
He was once a thug from around the way.
To turn it into a stutter and chorus ender in one of the biggest diss tracks of our generation, like that.
Talking out of their neck.
Kendrick Lamar after sampling Can You Say Yeah?
Can you say yeah?
A gospel song to literally say some of the most egregious things to Drake while destroying him in a rap battle.
Your son's a sick man with sick thoughts. I think like him should die. This a long life battle with yourself.
To then come back a couple months later with a heaven on earth sample of Luther Vandross' If This World Were Mine.
If this world were mine, I would place at your feet.
And mixing it to be a dual chorus slash bridge of him and SZA's voice. Biggie sampling Juicy Fruit, an 80s melodic song. And turning it into a melodic memoir where he reflects on his life and how far he's came.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine.
Tupac sampling Ooh Child by 5 Stair Steps.
Ooh, child, we're gonna get easier. Ooh, child, things will get brighter.
And to then turn it into a homage and a message for anybody going through a struggle to call back on to always keep their heads up.
I know you're fed up, ladies, but keep your head up.
Ooh, child.
There is an art to sampling. Not only does using a sample in the correct way elevate the song to a whole new tier, but it also makes it that much easier to capture an audience's ear on a very consistent basis. Just look at Xavier Landon, better known as BigXThaPlug, who found fame in 2023 after grinding for 3+ years, and he ended up in jail. While he was in jail though, he was writing a lot of different songs, and when he got out, he released his debut album, and it had a song on it that went viral called Texas, where it sampled Sweet Thing by Shuggie Otis, with the bass drum having a Texan sound, and pair that with his extremely deep voice, tattoos, and name BigXThaPlug to go with his wide frame of 6'2", 355 pounds, it was hard to miss him.
Hey, see, I'm from Texas, where we should ride swangers and put diamonds in our niggas.
After he saw that using samples worked due to the familiarity of it, because it resonated with an older audience through the samples, but it also was able to resonate with a younger audience through the beats and the fast rapping, he started making his brand just using samples, and he does it really well.
Say your love, bring somebody wants to borrow money. I chew a hush. Hey, 2 a.m. and I'm live. I just left out the club with the gang and the high yellow real thick in the thighs.
Through these samples, he is able to cast a wider net audience of young and old that most people aren't able to.
When you came on the scene, it was very refreshing. Like, your voice is unique, your sound is unique.
Facts.
You pick the best samples. And I know right now a lot of people are like, oh my God, sampling is overdone. But I think it's an art to pick and sample.
Right.
What's the process when you choose a song that you want to sample?
I mean, with everything I make, it gotta feel my soul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I feel it in my soul, then it's like me and my producers, shout out band play, Tony Coles.
Right.
We've been working so long now that it's like we got the same soul.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whenever they making the beat and they feel it, it's like they already know. That's why we don't miss. You know what I'm saying?
Another reason samples are so powerful, specifically in rap, is due to R&B and rap being so interpolated. I hope I said that word right. We're just gonna say mixed together. I've been saying mixed together a lot because I don't want to mess up on the interpolated. In the early 90s and the 2000s, R&B was just as big as rap. More times than not, the biggest rap artists would always collab with the biggest R&B artists, and they would have some of the biggest songs of that time period.
He's just a friend. I want you around all the time. I want you around me all the time. All I need in this life is sin. It's me and my girlfriend. Down the ride to the very end. It's me and my boyfriend. I want you all I think about is you.
This is why whenever you go to a lot of black parties, the two most played genres is either R&B or rap. I mean, just look at 1998, where Lauryn Hill dropped her one and only album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which, if I'm being honest, leans more towards R&B than rap. Yet at the Grammys that year, it won Best Rap Album, and nobody disagreed.
And the album of the year is The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
I like to always say R&B and rap are first cousins that could pass off as siblings because they're so interlinked. But as you may or may not know, video coming soon on this, the art of R&B is dying. A lot of R&B artists are either such human beings that it makes it impossible to want to listen to them anymore.
Do you like teenage girls? When you say teenage, how old are we talking?
What the hell?
Girls who are teenagers.
Or they just can't find a song that can consistently resonate with the mainstream audiences. So since there's not a lot of good R&B these days, that creates a giant hole specifically in the black music game that's just left that needs to be filled. So a lot of artists fulfill this need by using samples. Drake taking Lauryn Hill's X Factor, where she pours out her heart at the end of the song, and it almost is like a song cry. And he takes that most powerful, resonating part of the song, loops it, in that same credibility, he alchemizes it and turns that sad situation into an upbeat, good situation to make a smash hit summer song. Nice for what?
And you showing off, but it's alright. And you showing off, but it's alright. It's a short life, yeah.
The late Pop Smoke Taking Differences, a song by Genuine where he talks about the woman that has came into his life and how much he has changed it in a good way. And he makes it into a hood love song where, despite him being a gangster, he has this soft side that this woman is able to tap into, and he keeps her looking fly and he spoils her.
She said, what you know about us? I'll tell you everything. I got what you need.
J. Cole's first breakout hit, Workout, where he talks about having a one-night stand with a woman and how he wants to let her know that he can't be her man and this is just a one-night thing, is actually a sample from Kanye West's debut album, The College Dropout, on a song titled The New Workout Plan. Also, this is actual footage from the J. Cole's Dreamville Fest concert that I went to and saw J. Cole in person. Shout out to Cole World. Shout out to Dreamville Fest.
For crack for God. That's all he needs is a little bit of space and he can slide right in there. And it was one day I was in a hotel and I had the fucking door cracked. Thank God I had the door cracked. I was listening to the song. I know I feel a way about him right now. But I got love for him and I really appreciate him. He cleared all these samples for me, and you know what I mean? And when that door cracked, I heard some shit that I had heard for a long time. I had been hearing this shit, but I heard it differently that day. It was like, imagine I'm in the bathroom, but I had the laptop in the hotel room on the bed, and I heard this shit coming from the other room. But I hope not. I want to see you work out for me. I said, what the f was that? I ran back in the other room, like, yo, what the f? It's like it spoke to me. I told you, all you gotta do is keep the door cracked. That shit spoke to me different on that day, so I ran it back. I was like,
Oh.
Samples at their core are a gateway, a portal, a changing of perspectives of some sort. People normally have their guards up when it comes to what they consume, but a sample can break past all of that. It can even go past race even. A lot of black people don't like to listen to what is deemed white people music due to the fear of them being made fun of.
Every light's flickering. Can you tell how much that it's bothering me?
This ends up cutting them off from a lot of experiences and life. But from the right sample with the right artist, it can make it more socially acceptable as a whole to listen to, thus opening all of us up to a whole new niche of art. A perfect example is Lil Uzi's The Way Life Goes.
It go like, I know it hurts sometimes, but you'll get over it.
Where he samples Oh Wonder's Landslide.
I know it hurts sometimes, but you'll get over it. You'll find another life to live.
Through hearing this Lil Uzi song, I heard the original, and it made me more and more comfortable to let go of the insecurity that I have been socially given that white people or other races' music is cringy, and it allowed me to open myself more up to this type of music. Even though this is a terrible example, Who I Smoke by Young Ace, a diss track where he called out a bunch of his ops and how they were dead and how he was smoking on them.
Who I smoke, baby, who I smoke, Dinky, who I smoke.
And I'm not gonna lie, even though that song is terrible, it's disgusting, and he's talking about people's children, it did get a lot more people comfortable with listening to the beautiful song, which is 1,000 Miles.
And I need you, and I miss you. If I could fall into the sky.
Samples are a gateway, they are a portal, they open up, they mix. It's almost like, you know how like there can be two families, a white and a black family. They both are racist, but it's through love, through the linking of love in their DNAs, through two people from those separate races and families coming together and creating a child. It is through that child, which is a sampled song, that can allow all of them to put their racism aside, to see the new possibilities of life, the beauty of it, the pure essence. And that's exactly what samples are when they are used the right way. When you understand samples, which your voice works with, what certain sounds work with, you will be able to channel your own time period, and you will transcend time and space. You will call on all ancestors and spirits from that time period as well, and success and energy, and it all will be shared with you and your art. And that is the true art of sampling. I appreciate all the love so much and support. As always, definitely go check out my Twitch, my Instagram, like the video, comment your thoughts. I love you all so much as always, and I'll see y'all next week.
That's little bit. Right, drop the beat.